Good evening, everyone, and tonight we're going to take a look at the Haggadah L'Leil Shikurim. That's the Haggadah for the night of the drunkards. It's another way of saying it's the night of Purim. What we're going to be looking at is a Haggadah, always put together, as you can see on the top here, the cover page, Zevi Hirsch Sommerhausen, sometime in the mid-1800s. And as you're going to see, it's quite a creative accomplishment because he really sticks very closely with the text. He mimics the text of the real Haggadah, but he makes it all relevant to Purim. And it's quite obvious that he's quite familiar with Psukim of Tanakh, with Midrashim, certainly the story of Queen Esther. So without further ado, let's have some fun. So it begins, Haggadah L'Leil Shikurim, Siman L'Seder Shel Purim. What's the Siman? Shtei ve'echol v'shtei. Drink and eat and drink. Chol makov lev, and all pains in your heart. All is reg, spread them out, chase them away. Echol u'shtei, shtei uchol, eat and drink and eat. Ad lo teda, until you don't know, the yom and the small, from your right to your left. Might be in Kos Chi. So according to this, you don't start the Haggadah of Purim until you're up to the 9th cup of wine. Chamra, the champagne, like the liquor that came from Champagne in France. It's an actual location, not just a drink. Yishasi Avasana v'chalas Rabbi Asra, that our forefathers drank each time. Called it Sameh Yesef Ishtei, all those who are thirsty, come and drink. Called Islay Zuzah Bekisei, all those who have some money in their pocket, Yesef Yazbin, come and buy. Hashata Hacha, now we are here. Shana Abba Vesa the Mishta. Next hour, we're here in the house, Lashah Abba, in the next hour, we're going to be going to the party room. Hashata Hacha, now we're here, Lashana Abba Shikorim. We're here now, maybe somewhat sober, but in the next hour, we will become drink. Kana ben Shel, now we have the Manishtana. These are appropriate for Purim as opposed to Pesach. Manishtana, Hayom Hazeh Mikol Hayomim. What's different about this day from other days? Shemachal Hayomim Pam Anu Oskim V'Lacha Upam Anu Ochlin. On other days, we spend most of our day working and some of our day eating. Hayom Hazeh Kol Achil Oshsi, on the day of Purim, we spend it all eating and drinking. Shemachal Hayomim Anu Shosim Mayim Oshech Har Yayin. Every day we have a choice which beverage we would like to drink, whether it be water, whether it be liquor, whether it be wine. Hayom Hazeh Kol Yayin. But for this holiday of Purim, we want to drink wine. Shebachol Hayomim Lechem Levav Enoshisa. Every day a person eats whatever he chooses. Yom Hazeh and Pachos B'Yisrael B'li Sudas Malach. On this day, there is nobody within the Jewish community who doesn't eat a very lavish meal. Shebachol Yomim Anu Ochlim K'dei Soba. Every day we eat until we're full, and we drink until we have quenched our thirst. Today we are all gluttons. In other words, we overeat. The sovim, we drink more than we need to quench our thirst. The shikurim, and we thus become drunk. So Moshe calls asiri. So of course, if you started the Haggadah at coast number 9, you're now up to the 10th. So I don't see where. Oh, we drank after the right before the Manishtana. I missed that one. Moshe goes asiri. We're now pouring the 10th cup. We were slaves, Achashverosh and Shushan. And we were turned over to Haman, the evil one. Even Queen Esther was commanded or did command to fast 3 days and 3 nights. Yikarenu Hashem Yitzarenu. And thanks to that, Rabbanu Shalom saved us from our enemy. Me'az Hosi Matok, from a difficult situation, was turned sweet, like sweet. Mitanis Mishta, and from fasting, it turned into partying, Yom Tov. Elo Hevar Mokom as Mashevas Haman, the Rabbanu Shalom had not reversed the plan, the plot of Haman. Our forefathers would have died from famine and would have ceased living because of drought, because of not having drink. Even if we are full, even if we're weak, even if we're elderly, mitzvah leinu lechol lishtos. It is a mitzvah upon us on Purim to eat and drink, ulishtaker besudas Purim, and to become intoxicated at the Purim meal, ulamar belishtaker, and those who get more and more intoxicated, praise them mishubach. It is so much more praiseworthy. I hope by now you're beginning to see how he has done a wonderful job of imitating the words, the ideas, even the phraseology that we use by Chazal and the Haggadah. Here he's turning around and making into a satire for Purim. So it's quite an ingenious, very, very difficult to do. And we should appreciate it as a literary accomplishment, being able to do that, not really concentrating on getting drunk. It's not something that we'd like to encourage today. There's too much of it in terms of people who are addicted to liquor. And but there's no reason why we can't discuss it when it comes to one day a year on the day of Purim. So let's continue. Ma'aseh Rabbi Gargaron. I'm going to tell you a story of a rabbi who was a glutton. Gargaron is a glutton. Rabbi Yena, a Rabbi Wine. Sava, the elderly. Rabbi Chamron, the Rabbi Liquor. Rabbi Shakron, and Rabbi Drunkard. Rabbi Bakbuk, and Rabbi Bottle. They were eating and drinking, they're extending their Purim meal the whole day and the whole night. Vayumishtakron was so drunk until they fell under the table, kosam beyondem with their cups still in their hands. And in the morning, their students found them rolling around in the dirt. They said to them, rabbis, it's time to have breakfast. Amar Rabbi Bakbuk. What did Rabbi Bottle say? Amar Rabbi Bakbuk Haniti Fosi. Rabbi Leaky Bottle said, I have enjoyed celebrating Purim for many years. I didn't realize how important it was to extend the meal, the festive meal of Purim, for 3 days and 3 nights, until I heard from this rabbi, who was the son of the elder wine drinker, Shemar. He said, Pasuk in Megillas Esther, we say in the Megillah that it was a time where things turned from being distressing to being joyous, from being in a state of mourning to being in a state of exaltation. My Yagan Shlosha Yomim, what was the distress? Fasting for 3 days, so that the Rona Shalom and prayer, so the Rona Shalom would answer and reverse Haman's decree. Shlosha Leos, Moshenemar, V'tzumo Alive, I'll talk about Tishtu Shlosha Yomim. Laila V'yom, as the verse says, Queen Esther asked that they fast, not eat, not drink for 3 days and 3 nights. Kain Simchas Yontos. So since the distress covered 3 days and 3 nights, the partying should cover 3 days and 3 nights. Rabbi Gagron Omer, Shiva Yomim. Rabbi Gagarin, Rabbi Glutton said, no, it should be for 7 days. Shanemar, Yom Tov, because it says that we would turn from mourning, things turn from being in a state of mourning to a state of festivity. So since the pasuk compares mourning to festivities, since mourning covers a period of 7 days, so too the festivities of Purim should cover 7 days. What about our sages? Majority. They said nothing. This is my favorite line from this Haggadah. They didn't say anything. What do? They kept eating and drinking until the Mashiach comes. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu, thank God. Shenasana Megillah Amo Yisrael, who gave us Megillas Esther. Baruch Hu. Can I get Arba Banim Dibra Torah? The Torah talked about 4 sons, Echad Chacham, one smart one, Echad Shoteh, one idiot, Echad Tam, a simple one, Echad She'eino Yodea Lishtos, and one who doesn't know how to drink. Chacham Ma'omer, what does a smart son ask? Ma'oedos v'achukim mishpatim, Lasok Yom V'Layla. What are these laws that you're involved with day and night? Hello, Tov Lano Shevas Hasir Boss, isn't it better us to sit by the dining table eating, or to go to party house. The avatar Molo, no, how do you answer him? Ein niftarim ala pesam koman. You're right. We don't leave our dining table or the party house from Purim all the way to Pesach. Shota Ma'amer. What does the idiot say? Ma simchas Purim lochem. He says, why are you being so joyous? You didn't live through the period of Haman and Mordechai. Since he uses you and he doesn't include himself, because he takes himself out of the majority. Kafar Megillah, he's denying the validity of Megillah's Esther. Yavata Haki Yashina, but you give him a good punch in the teeth. Amolo, Chose Eno Shevali V'Lo, quoting words. None of this matters to you or to me. That comes right from Megillah's Esther. Elo Ayasham, if this idiot had been there, Ayanitla, he would have been among those who hung with Haman and his 10 sons. Tama Omer, what does a simple son say? Mazos, what is this? Marta Elov, Sudas Purim hu. This is the Suda of Purim. Chalamis askim ba zochim lehenos misuda shalev yasa. And whoever eats from it is going to be eating from the Suda that's going to take place when the Mashiach comes. What about the one who doesn't know how to drink? Apsachlo. You should open up his mouth. Shenemar, open up your mouth and I will fill it. And Emar, limdas b'nei Israel, sima b'fihem. Yochol, from the apostle that says, open up your mouth and I will fill it. And it says, and I will teach the Jewish people by placing it in their mouth. Yochol merosh chodesh, maybe we should be celebrating Purim on the first day of Adar. Because the Megillah tells us that it's the month in which the decree was reversed. Talmud Lomar, Lios Osim, Eshnei Yom Elohim. But the Megillah tells us that we're supposed to celebrate these 2 days. Yochol Me'elos HaShachar, maybe we should be starting from very early in the morning. Talmud Lomar, Miyogon LeSimcha. No, the pasuk says things turn from distress to joy. LeSimcha Lomarti, El Bashosh, HaKosos, Mezugim Lefanecha. Joy is described as the time when the cups of wine are full and sitting before you. In the beginning, they fasted 3 days, and then they ate for 1 day. But now we have Tanis Esther, which is 1 day. And we just keep on eating, being tachlis, there's no end. Until the meat has left the table. And there's no more wine in our cups. And we've spent the last penny in our pocket. It sounds like a great description of people who do have alcohol addiction. And if one day when Mashiach comes, all the days that we fast are going to be abolished, and the holidays are going to be abolished. You may have Purim, the days of Purim. Are always going to be observed. Shnemar. You may have Purim, lo yavru mitoch haYehudim. Days of Purim are never going to leave the Jewish people. V'zichron lo yosem mizarom. They will be remembered forever and ever. Baruch shomer yeno v'martev kol hashana l'chvo Purim. Blessed is he who watches his wine in his wine cellar to make sure all year round, to make sure that he has enough for Purim. Blessed is the one who checked and counted the barrels of wine that he had in his wine cellar to make sure nobody stole it from him. Because all year round, drinking wine is voluntary. Purim chova, but on Purim is an obligation. Lishtos, to drink. Shnemar. Pesach Haggadah, it says, and the drinking that took place, sheyishtaker, that we should reach the point of being intoxicated, b'yishan, and we should fall asleep, and in his dreams, after drinking so much, he's going to dream that he has become quite a wealthy man. This is the wine that has been with our forefathers and us. Shiratos hamakom, because our Ribono Shel Olam wants to bring merit to the Jewish people. Here, Balem Suda Shel Mitzvah, because the Ribono Shel Olam wanted us to fulfill a lot of mitzvahs. So we made sure that we are obligated to be involved in many meals of mitzvah. The kosel shabracha, and at the end of it, we usually bench with a cup of wine when we have a mezuman. That's Kiddush and Havdalah. It's a very nice list that he's giving us, just a reminder how many activities we are involved with during the course of the year in which we hold a cup of wine. Kiddush, Havdalah, Bris Milah, Pidyon Habein, Bar Mitzvah. Interesting, he threw in Bar Mitzvah. I don't know. I guess at the celebration, everyone is going to hold a cup of wine or a cup of liquor. Erusin, of course, we do it twice at a wedding. We do it once at Kiddushin and once at the Sheva Brachas, Sudas Nesuim. It's the second time. Uberkas Mayan Chasum, I don't know that we, this is, I believe, what was called the Berchas Psulim, which is when the marriage is consummated. Ashrei Misha Zocha Kulam, happy is he who has the opportunity to celebrate each one of these meals, the kosam b'yadam, and have holding a cup of wine in their hands. Say Elmad, come and learn. How much greater is the quality of vineyards over other, vines of wine, vines of grapes, over other trees that bear fruit. All the other fruit that's produced by trees is good for eating. But the produce, or what's produced by vineyards, is good for eating and for drinking. I guess they didn't have orange juice or pineapple juice or cranberry juice then when he wrote this. So he didn't consider those as being a drink that can be produced from fruit. And on vineyards, the Torah just gave a nice description. It's actually a pasuk about David when we talk about the Ribono Shalom. That the Ribono Shalom is greatness and mightiness and honor and everlasting. L'cham Amlacha, and Ribono Shalom, it goes the kingdom, is the kingdom of Asnasi al-Rosh, and he stands over everyone. Hagdula Shanamar, so they're going to try to show how these psukim somehow are related to wine or vineyards. Magdi Yeshuos Malkov and Yeshuos Eliyayin. So Magdi Yeshuos Malkov, and he have the word Yeshuos, and Yeshuos Eliyayin. And the word Yeshuos is linked to wine. Why? Because we say it every night, every Moshe Shabbos and Havdalah. Shanema Kol Yeshuos Esa. That we are holding a cup of that's going to bring a Yeshua, a rescue. Gevura Shnema Giborim Lishtos Yayin, and the Gevura is based on a pasuk that they are mighty and that they drink wine. Tefera Shnema or Teres Tefera Seva, based on pasuk that says old age is, I guess, a sign of honor. My Seva Shivim. What is considered old age? 70. Kedama ben Bagbag ben Shivim L'Seva, as we find in Pirkei Avos, that we turn 70. That is that's considered old age. Zayayin. That's wine. Shagamatria Shalo Shivim. So Yud Nun. That's 10, 10, and 50. That's 70. So he's tying the word of Teferes to Seva, and by Seva to Shivim, and from Shivim to Yayin. My Netzach Shnema, Lenetzach, Yishakach, Evion, Ve'ein Evion Shocher Atzmo El B'Yayin. In the future, I guess, the poor will forget, and a poor person doesn't forget until he has become intoxicated. What is hold was a grandeur because of the pasuk. Hodu, acknowledge Lashem, acknowledge God because he's good. Vein tov elayayin, and tov is equivalent to wine. Shnema, say believe tov yinecha, and you should drink in good heart your wine. Hamamlacha shnema v'yein malchus rav, and kingdom because it says yayin malchus rav. Masnasa shnemar of Daniyo, Masnasa Yadiyahu is yayin. The Chushbana the Dain, Chushbana the Dain. I think we can skip some of this. A lot of psukim here. I'm not sure that I can actually connect them all. It's a month in which the Jews' condition was reversed from a period of stress to a period of joy, period of mourning to a period of Yom Tov. And let me just pause here for a second. So because the reversal from a period of stress to a period of joy and a period of mourning to a period of festivity, we were asked to celebrate them as days of partying and sending gifts of food from one to the other and giving gifts to the poor. He's now going to interpret the verse. Going from distress to joy is eating and drinking. Shnemar, Yehuda Yisrael Rabim Ochlim V'Shoshim Smechim. Again, quoting a pasuk where you have smechim related to eating and drinking. Umiyevel Yom Tov Zeh Shikros, and going from mourning until festivity is drunkenness. Shnemar V'Tov Lev Mishta Tamid. Again, word Tov is connected to Mishta. B'simcha Zeh Achila Shnemar Achol B'simcha. and joy too. He finds a pasuk where the word echol is next to simcha. Manos, zeshia, shnema, or shemanos, chelki, v'kosi. So shalom mishlach manos, he finds also is related to drinking because of a pasuk manos, chelki, v'kosi. You have sort of the word manos, manas, next to the word my cup. Manos, you have onim. Ze'achila, giving food to the poor, is equal to eating. Shnema v'yonecha as bi'alechem, to you are poor, I will give food. Another way of interpreting it is the words going from distress to joy is two. Umeyevel Yom Tov is two. Going from mourning to festivity is two. Mishta v'simcha is two. Shloch Manos is two. Matos Yonim is two. Elu Aseres Me'Haman Shenitlu Loetz B'Shushem Elohim. So this is sort of a play on the 10 plagues. The 10 plagues in this case, and they were 10 plagues, were the 10 sons of Haman, Pashtanasa, Dalphon, Aspasa, Rasa, Dalia, Ridasa, Shemasta, Risa, Ridai, Vaya, Zasa. Arizam and Yosef Ham Simanim. Arizam one came up with an abbreviation, Par Dalspor, Adal Sapor, Ari. Interesting little combination of all the names. Rabbi Shashin Omer and Aishan is Purim Ayah Eser Purim Gadol Meis Pesach. How do we know that the miracle of Purim was 10 times as great as the miracle that took place in Yetzias Mitzrayim? But Pesach Omer Mipchor Power Yosh Val Kisei talks about those who died, firstborn that died, including the firstborn of Paro, who was sitting on the crown prince. So there the Torah talks about one person. Here the Torah talks about 10. And when we add to Pesach shows him arba pomim. On Pesach we have 4 cups, right at the Seder. Purim chayav lishtos arba pomim. So we have to do 10 times, because in Pesach the Torah talks about one before dying, one person dying, and on Purim we talk about 10. So it's 10 times as much. Maybe each drink that we should be drinking that's much more powerful or much more numerous than at Haggadah. So he's doing the same kind of derivation as we find in the Haggadah. They try to show that the miracles that took place at the splitting of the sea were 5 times as powerful, or 4 times as powerful, 5 times as powerful, depending on how you read a pasuk. So here he's doing the same thing, based on the words Ora v'Simcha, Sasam Yikor Ora Achas, Simcha Shtayim, Sasan Shalosh v'Yikor Arba, and Mariata v'Pesach Shosam Arba Kosos, or Purim Shosam Meya v'Shishim Kosos. So again, it's much more powerful. It goes from 4 cups now to 40 cups to 160 cups. And now we're going to move on to even more. Rabbi Shachar Omer and Ashkol Shtia Purim, he shall Hamisha Kosos. How do we know it's each is 5? Shneimai Udim Hoisa Or V'Simcha Son V'Kor Hoisa Achas. Doing something interesting, taking the word Hoisa, making it one of the 10. End result is that on Pesach we drink 4 cups. On Purim we drink 200 cups. Now we're going to do a little Dayenu, play on Dayenu. If Vashti had been killed, and Esther had not reigned in her place, that would have been enough for us. A little difficult to understand. I've always had the question of what would have happened if Vashti had not died. Would the whole Purim story have happened? Would Haman have been elevated? Is Haman somehow related to the death of Vashti? Because he seems to have been an advisor of Ahasuerus, and Ahasuerus took his advice, and it turned out well for him. That may have been the reason why he was elevated. That means if some reason either Ahasuerus didn't ask Vashti to come in a shameful way, or had she come and somehow accommodated them, perhaps the Purim story never would have happened. if Queen Esther, so you see we're getting a whole review of all of the little parts of this story of Purim. If Queen Esther had reigned, but she didn't think of calling Haman to a party with Ahasuerus, she would call Esther as a Haman, what would have happened if Esther had called Haman to a party, but that night Ahasuerus had not had difficulty sleeping? Maybe if King Ahasuerus had difficulty sleeping, but Haman did not come to the outside of the throne, maybe that would have been enough. Here goes Mordechai. If Haman had come to the outer court in the palace, but he didn't end up leading Mordechai through the streets of Shushan, that would have been enough. If he led Mordechai to the streets of Shushan, but he didn't fall on the bed, Haman had fallen on the bed, but King Ahasuerus wouldn't have gotten angry, and Chabona would not have a chance to have told the King Ahasuerus that Haman had prepared a tree upon which to hang Mordechai. That would have been enough. Chabona had made that suggestion, but the 10 sons of Haman and Haman himself had not been hung. That would have been enough. Had Haman and his sons been killed, but their wealth had not been turned over to Mordechai, that would have been enough. Not done. Had the wealth of Haman been turned over to Mordechai, but we didn't have an opportunity to avenge our enemies, that would have been enough. We made Purim Dayenu. Had we had the opportunity to take revenge against our enemies, and the days of Purim had not been established, that would have been enough. If the days of Purim have been established, but we weren't ordered to have parties and joy, that would have been enough. And then he goes on to repeat all of those things as we do in the Haggadah. Rabban Tzachli Omer, the rabbi, who's jokester, I guess, said, he who has not done these three things on Purim has not fulfilled his obligation. Elohim, achol, shaso, eating, drinking, barako, and dancing. As the pasuk says, go eat, enjoy your bread. So we have to, when we say achol, when it says simcha, it means echol. How do we know that bread represents a meal? It's a pasuk in Tehillim. A person cannot eat just on bread. So we again a twist of words here on mon, food that was given to the Jews by the Rebbeinu Shalom in the desert, suddenly became Haman. So we know that it's important to eat on Purim. I think we can more or less skip through these different proofs, text, as he goes through all the dancing and all of this. Every generation, we should look as if we too had lived in Shushan at the time of the Purim story. That they accepted this for themselves and for their ancestors. It wasn't just Mordechai and Esther who got saved. So there is a serious side to this satire, reminding us if the Jews in Shushan had not been saved, we may not be here. We may not be here today. Very similar to the idea that we express during the Seder. We too were there. That says that the Jews accept upon themselves al-zarom, accept upon themselves and for future generations. With a small Purim, Therefore, we have to eat and drink and be joyous on Purim. Lasos Mishtev Yom Tov, to make have parties and festivities, the Yozolalim, eat too much, Sovim, drink too much, Ma'achrim, Alayayin, and not pulling ourselves away from wine, Baroktim and dancing, Tudim, Lasos Basuda, Shlomo, we should have like a kingly meal, Uksudas Hamel Ashverosh, Levarech Alanisim, and to acknowledge to God for the miracles, Lamanayos Seinu, Regilim, Zuman Muhanim, the Suda Shali Yasa. He has a very serious message here that by celebrating on Purim, we are demonstrating, of course, acknowledging the great miracle Ribbono Shel Olam did for us on Purim, but also showing us that we want to celebrate. We really don't want to live in difficulties. We don't want to live in distressing situations, places where people don't want us, who persecute us. We want to celebrate in the special meal that the Ribbono Shel Olam has prepared for us in the times of the Mashiach. I think that's a great message upon which to close the session. You're all free. If you need the link to where you can find this Haggadah, I'd be happy to provide it for you. Thank you for joining me.